In this tutorial, we will begin the first of two parts looking at the administration submenu of the system menu located in the menu bar. Here in the menu bar, which is in the GNOME desktop environment, which is the default desktop environment for Ubuntu Linux, there are three menus: Applications, Places, and System. In System, one of the submenus is entitled Administration, and the Administration submenu contains a dozen or so tools to assist with the administration of the system. In this tutorial, we'll be taking a look at the first half dozen or so of these tools, beginning with Device Manager. Now, the Device Manager tool is a graphical utility that is intended to help the user look at various pieces and devices of the system. It's sort of similar to in Windows right-clicking on the My Computer and going to the Device Manager or the hardware properties or things like that. This basically shows all the different pieces of hardware, both high level and low level, on the system. And it can get quite detailed here, but it is a handy place to go to see what the Ubuntu Linux has found with regards to all the different pieces of hardware. There's also a link to the online Ubuntu device database, which is intended to be a repository of information about hardware and its ability to work with Linux or its inability to work. So if one is having problems with particular pieces of hardware, can go here and find the name of that device and go to the Ubuntu device database and see if there are any posts from other users with some guidance. The next item under administration is keyboard indicator plugins. This is a rarely used item, and there are certain keyboards that can have lights and other indicators, and there may be some plugins that are available to enable or disable those options. Those things would be found here. The next item under administration is the Keyring Manager. Now, the Keyring Manager is a tool that can be used. It's optional, but one sees this in the Macintosh operating system as well as some other operating system, but the idea is that it's intended to provide a place where once a user authenticates and logs into a system, the user can save other keys and passwords and things like that all in one location and tie them to certain applications, and it's related to things along those lines. So again, it's not used too often, but if one wants to explore that, it is a very handy tool. The next item under administration is language support. And Ubuntu, being an international Linux distribution, does provide a way to change the default language in the system if one wants to, if one is got different users that needs different supported languages, and depends on what languages are installed. If one is missing other languages, you can see that the message provides instructions on how to install different languages on the system. But those tools are all available in the language support tool located under administration. The next item is login window. This can be handy. This is a way to configure the initial login screen that is seen when first booting up Ubuntu Linux. As you can see, there are themes for that. There are lots of different things one can choose to do or not choose, such as showing the actions menu, defining the welcome message. There are also additional options related to remote login from other computers, how to change the accessibility and allowing the users to change the fonts and colors, whether or not there is a sound that's played when the screen is ready. The types of security that's available, you can set up automatic login, which is not as secure, but one can do that here. A certain amount of time can log in, whether or not to allow the system administrator to log in or not. And then, of course, the users that are available to be able to log in to the system. All of that kind of information is located in the login window preferences. The next item found under administration is networking. Networking can be quite handy for folks who are having issues with networking. It is a place where the different network interfaces are found and configured. Wired connections, modem connections, and wireless connections can sometimes be found here as well. There's different settings that one can set, such as the host name, the domain name, the DNS servers, things like that. One can also set different locations or profiles, if you will. So one could have a home profile with a wired network and a remote profile for the wireless network for when one takes a laptop away from home. So without having to make the changes every single time, you can just select different profiles. That's all available under networking in administration. Network tools are much more detailed. These are really just system tools. This is really a graphical front end to various command line tools that are available, such as ping, netstat, traceroute, portscan. If one is looking to do some really low-level network diagnostics and other types of configuration and things, these are graphical front ends to those low-level network tools that are available on the system. And then the last item that we'll take a look at in this particular tutorial is printing. And the printing tool is one that allows you to set up a local printer or a networked printer. If one has another Linux system with a networked printer using a system called CUPS, or perhaps using a system called Samba, those networked printers can be found here or can be enabled here. There's ways to go in. Of course, you can just double click on the new printer icon and it will start a little wizard on how to add that printer. You can also detect LAN printers, and you can set up printers to be shared over the network. And so that is the printers administration tool found in the administration submenu located under the system menu in the menu bar on Ubuntu Linux. And that's the end of this tutorial. Thank you very much.